everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing enchiladas, which I'm excited about because I can make this and I can have it for the next few days. And I'm doing a green chicken and shallot enchilada, or enchilada, however you want to say it. But it's really delicious. I've already made this a few weeks back and it was very well received, so I thought I'll do it again. So I'm gonna do this in two parts. I'm going to be roasting my chicken first, and then I'll be incorporating everything together, the actual casserole dish. And since I happen to like the blouse that I'm wearing, I'm going to grab my apron and we'll get started. So I did get chicken a couple days ago at the store, and what I did, I cleaned it, salted it, and let it stay in the fridge. So I do want to rinse this off, pat it dry, and then I'm going to cut it in slightly smaller pieces. I have more chicken than I need for this, so I'm just going to roast everything, and then whatever excess I have, I will just save it for other things throughout the week. I also have some shallots that I'll be using, and my spices are going to be salt, pepper, garlic powder, and coriander. So I'm going to be roasting everything together, and it'll take however long it needs in the oven. Last time I made it, I did it with chicken thighs. This time I'm doing white meat, so you can do it either way if you prefer one to the other. But today it's going to be chicken breast. Okay, so with the shallot, I just want to roughly chop them. This will be in the oven for a little while, but I'm just going to roughly chop them now, and then I'll chop them a little bit more later on so that the pieces are smaller and it will incorporate into the filling nicely. And the chicken, I just want to do these in smaller pieces, but again, not too small. I just want it to be able to cook up a bit faster. To this, I'm actually going to start with olive oil because I do want to get this coated, and then I do want to make sure that there is enough salt. So this is about a couple of pounds of chicken, but for the recipe you really just need a pound. I'm just going to cook the whole package. Pepper, some garlic powder, and coriander. And I am putting this in my hand first just because I know how much to look for, but there will be measurements down in the description box. And then I'm going to toss this all together and arrange it in a single layer. If not, it'll be sitting on top of the shallots. If you want to kind of break them apart a little bit, you can. And it's going to go into my oven that has been preheating. So I've taken the chicken out. It is cooked. I don't want to overcook it. I'm going to let this cool until it's a bit easier to handle. So once this is cool enough to handle, you are going to go ahead and shred this up. I do prefer hand shredding, or you can do it with a couple of forks. So I do prefer that to chopping. I think the texture is a bit better. And if I'm stuffing a tortilla, I really prefer it this way. So I'm just going to work on this. And since I let this rest, the chicken is not dry, and I did go ahead and taste a piece. Honestly, the cracked black pepper is kind of what makes this, because it offers a certain spice that chili pepper doesn't do. And then I'll go ahead and chop the shallot. And this doesn't have to be really fine, but I want to break it down even further so that, again, it'll just be easier to eat. And that'll be combined with the chicken. So the onion is going to add moisture to your filling, and if you do have any like juices from the roasting, you want to go ahead and add that. And it'll just keep everything delicious because it's basically rendered juices from the chicken. Now that the chicken mixture is almost put together, we're going to continue on to the next step. So I'm going to show you what I use for assembling, and I will be frying the tortillas a little bit because it'll be easier to roll and put together. So I have my chicken and shallot on the right. I will be using some corn tortillas, and I actually used this enchilada sauce last time and it turned out really good, and I got the thumbs up to do it again. So I'm going to be using this, and it's just a green chili enchilada sauce. You can use whatever you like or you have on hand, but this is going to be the one that I use. And then I have a little bit of mozzarella cheese that is starting to melt, but just because it's hot in the kitchen. I just have enough to kind of hold the filling together so it doesn't fall apart when you eat it. And then I'm going to use some vegetable oil to crisp up or warm up the tortillas. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to add the mozzarella, and this is totally melting, but it's just enough to, you know, again, kind of hold everything together as it bakes in the oven. And to make it easy, I'm gonna mix this by hand because why not? And then this will be ready and waiting for me. I also want to preheat my oven again, so the kitchen is gonna get warm again. This is just gonna need a bit of coordinating. I have my pan that I'm starting to heat up. And then off to the side, I have my tortillas and I have a plate so that once they're done frying, I'll put them on the plate and then go and assemble the rest. My pan is hot enough, so I went ahead and put in my oil. And the other thing that I'm going to be using is my tongs because that will make things a lot easier. I'm just going to start off with a couple. To the bottom of my baking dish, I'm going to add a little bit of the sauce so that there is a thin layer for the enchiladas to sit in. So then what I want to do, you could do this with your hands or a spoon, it really doesn't matter, but you're going to put some filling. And, you know, I like to do kind of an even chicken and shallot distribution here. It gets faster. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this over. I put quite a lot of filling because I actually made more than last time, so I'm going to be kind of generous with this. So you're going to just, you know, fill and roll and plate it or put it in your baking dish seam side down. So as you're rolling, and try to roll this tightly, I'm gonna pick it up, and where it closes, I'm gonna set it down so that it doesn't open up. So as you can see, I barely cover the bottom of my dish with the oil, and then I just want to lay in the tortilla so that it can technically fry. So I'll do one side, then I'll do the other side, and then you'll see as it puffs up, that's all you want. And then I'm going to put this on my plate, and I kind of try to drain some of the excess oil off. I'll do one more. You don't have to put your hand in the pan if you're kind of new to this. So I may do 2 to 3 at a time and then make the enchilada, put it in the dish, and then do another round, because for me it's just more manageable. And I use vegetable oil. I do not use lard or manteca, nothing like that. So I try to make this, you know, a little bit, I don't want to say healthy, but this is still hot. You do want to give your tortillas a chance to kind of cool off a little bit because the oil is quite hot. The other thing that I would do when you're putting it in the casserole dish, nestle them as closely as possible. I'm going to squeeze one more in at the end here. The other thing that may happen as you're assembling, you find that you just have like a pocket or a space that won't fit a whole tortilla, and that's really easy. All you have to do is cut your tortilla in half before frying them. So this is how much I typically get. Let's see, 3, 6, 9. I get a dozen. So just know that if you follow the recipe, you'll get about 12. Now that I have them laid out in the casserole dish with the sauce, I just want to pour it over and then it'll go in the oven. And I'm gonna leave it uncovered. This way the sauce will thicken and kind of get into the tortilla. And you do want to, you know, cover the edges of the enchiladas, especially because it's gonna, I don't want to say dry out, and it's fine if they crisp up, but do like get everything at least coated in the sauce. And if it falls in between, that's fine. So here we are, it's out of the oven. It is hot. It's hot. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and let this rest while I make some rice. So to top this, I'm going to just crumble a little bit of the queso fresco. And, you know, not a lot. I mean, I guess you could do how much you want, but I just want a little bit. And then since it's still hot, it may start to melt. Plus it's just hot in the kitchen. And then the other thing I do, I slice up some fresh jalapeno. And I'm not quite sure how spicy this one is, but you know, I don't mind it. And some whole cilantro leaves on top. And then to my rice, I added some chopped cilantro. So here we have our roasted chicken and shallot green enchilada. And I made some just plain white rice on the side that I chopped in a handful of fresh cilantro and mixed it in. And I'm just having it with a couple of radishes on the side. And I also have some jamaica or hibiscus, and I just kind of made it into a little cocktail. In all seriousness, this is really good. I decided to make enchiladas a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, here's this enchilada sauce, and so picked it up, took it home, made it. It turned out so awesome that I decided to do it again, and it's really flavorful. Don't skimp out on the cracked black pepper because I feel that really makes a difference. The shallots, they lend a natural sweetness, and it just comes together really nicely. And if you wanted to, you know, hit some lime juice over this too at the end, that's really good. So it is seriously hot today. It is 90 degrees, and in the kitchen with the oven on, feels even more. But now I'm gonna take a chance to just relax and enjoy this, as well as my little cocktail. This is actually jamaica. Made in a concentrated form. My sister-in-law happened to bring this over, so I just added some water, a little lime juice, and some fresh mint, and it's really good. I already had a little bit. If you're interested in making something similar, I will have a link down in the description box along with the recipe for the enchiladas. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.